what does it mean when a feeling remains unchanged over time? In the world of Chinese entertainment, where careers evolve and public images shift, consistency is rare. Yet for years, audiences have noticed one quiet pattern surrounding Zhao Lusi and Wang Anyu. As events passed and circumstances changed, Wang Anyu's affection appeared steady, expressed not through declarations but through presence and attention. This was not a story shaped by headlines or confirmation, but by repetition, moments observed again and again. As we look back, the question is not whether this affection was returned, but why it continued to exist, unchanged, in the absence of an answer. In the early stages of their public appearances, the dynamic between Zhao Lusi and Wang Anyu felt effortless. Their interactions were marked by ease rather than awareness, unfolding before attention became a defining factor. Smiles came naturally, conversations appeared unguarded, and there was little sense of calculation in how they shared space. During this period, Wang Anyu's attention blended seamlessly into the moment. It did not stand out because it was simply part of the atmosphere, light, spontaneous, and unforced. These early impressions created a baseline for what audiences would later notice. As time moved forward and circumstances grew more complex, this initial sense of openness became the reference point against which change and constancy would eventually be measured. As the years passed, circumstances inevitably changed. Public attention intensified, careers evolved, and personal boundaries became more visible. Yet amid these shifts, one element appeared strikingly consistent: Wang Anyu's affection. While interactions grew fewer and expressions more restrained, his attention did not disappear. It adapted. Rather than becoming more pronounced, his affection grew quieter. It was reflected in brief glances, patient presence, and moments of awareness that required no audience. There were no attempts to reclaim the ease of the past, only a steady continuation of care expressed within new limits. For observers, this continuity stood out. Change was evident in the environment, but not in intention. Wang Anyu's affection did not rely on circumstance or response. It persisted through distance and silence. Over time, this quiet consistency became the defining thread, suggesting that while situations may shift, some feelings do not fade, they simply learn how to remain. At its core, this affection appeared one-sided, but not in the way it is often portrayed. It was not defined by longing or frustration, nor by the hope of being answered. Instead, it existed quietly, without asking for more than it was given. Wang Anyu did not attempt to change the distance or seek reassurance. His affection did not demand reciprocity, nor did it rely on recognition. It was expressed through consistency rather than pursuit, presence rather than pressure. For many viewers, this reframed the idea of one-sided love. Rather than a source of pain, it became a reflection of emotional maturity, the ability to care without expectation. In this light, the absence of response did not diminish the feeling's value. It simply revealed a form of love that chose to remain, even when nothing was promised in return. As time passed, Zhao Lusi's way of expressing emotion appeared to shift. While she remained composed and present, her demeanor grew more reserved. The openness seen in earlier moments gave way to measured reactions and quieter expressions. This change did not suggest emotional absence, but adaptation. Rather than engaging outwardly, Zhao Lusi seemed to choose restraint. Her focus stayed grounded, her responses selective, shaped by awareness of both environment and self. In contrast to Wang Anyu's consistent attention, her emotional language became subtler, less visible. For observers, this evolution felt natural. Public life often reshapes how feelings are shown, encouraging protection over display. Zhao Lusi's shift reflected this reality, not a withdrawal from connection, but a recalibration of how it could exist. In this space, emotion was not erased. It was simply expressed differently, adding another layer of complexity to the story. There was no announcement, no defining gesture. Yet one brief moment quietly brought everything into focus. During the event, a short exchange between Wang Anyu and Zhao Lusi unfolded naturally, almost unnoticed at first glance. It was not dramatic, nor was it emotionally charged on the surface, but in context it carried weight. The moment did not alter their dynamic, nor did it resolve unanswered questions. Instead, it confirmed something simpler and more enduring: awareness. Both were present, both acknowledged each other, and nothing more was required. For audiences who had followed their story over time, this moment felt decisive. It showed that the affection had not been imagined, nor erased by distance. Without declarations or explanation, it affirmed what had been quietly consistent all along, that some feelings do not need to be spoken to be understood. This one-sided love resonated because it reflected a reality many people recognize. Not all affection is returned, and not all feelings are meant to lead to outcomes. For many viewers, Wang Anyu's steady presence mirrored experiences they had lived through themselves, caring quietly, without expectation or guarantee. What made this dynamic powerful was its restraint. There was no insistence, no sense of entitlement, and no attempt to rewrite the situation. Instead, the affection remained respectful, allowing space rather than demanding closeness. Modern audiences, especially mature viewers, responded to this honesty. It acknowledged that emotional value does not depend on reciprocity. Sometimes the act of carrying itself is meaningful enough. By portraying affection as something that can exist independently, this story offered comfort, reminding people that love, even when unanswered, can still be sincere, dignified, and deeply human. As this story comes to a close, what remains is not a resolution, but a perspective. Over the years, Wang Anyu's affection appeared steady, unchanged by circumstance or response. Zhao Lusi's quieter presence, shaped by time and awareness, did not erase that affection. It simply existed alongside it. This was never a story about confirmation or outcome. It was about sincerity without expectation, and care that did not demand recognition. In an industry driven by visibility and reaction, such restraint felt rare and honest. For many viewers, this dynamic resonated because it reflected real emotional experience. Not all feelings are meant to be answered. Some exist quietly, sustained by intention rather than promise. In witnessing this one-sided love, audiences were reminded that emotional truth does not always seek reciprocity. Sometimes it simply chooses to remain dignified, unchanged, and deeply human.